drum, the heartbeat of Mother Earth, and all people upon this earth. We're told that we should love one another, take care of one another, respect one another. This dancing that you will be seeing today, these people do from their hearts, and we need this drum in order to perform. We thank you for allowing us this time to present our Native American dance. My name is Ronnie Preston, and I'll be joined by Miss Emma Careful, and these are our Native youth that are keeping their culture alive. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for United Indians of Milwaukee youth dancers.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Paul Matthews, President and CEO of the Marcus Center for Performing Arts. And on behalf of all of us here, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you on this rather brisk winter day. It may be a bit cold outside, but I can tell you the hall is going to heat up with speeches and singing and spirited performances. And your clapping and cheers all the way through are going to help as well, so please feel free to do that. A special shout out to those of us who are watching us on the internet, all over the United States today. Today marks the 35th anniversary of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration, and we are honored to have hosted the event for all of these years, especially since it will be Dr. King's 90th birthday. Earlier this week, a reporter asked me what I thought Dr. King would think if he were alive today. Well, I can't profess to know that for sure, but I think it's safe to say that Dr. King would be saddened by seeing that many of the issues he confronted still confront us today. But I also think he'd be lifted up by this crowd, by seeing his legacy living on 35 years later, and that his words and deeds are inspiring another generation to live and carry on his dream. The young people you see and hear today can express that much better than I can. So let's get on with the program and let's get underway. Joining me is Anthony Smith, our Director of Community Engagement and Inclusion, who will introduce our MCs for today's program. Anthony?
Good afternoon. It is my honor and extreme pleasure to introduce our co-Masters of Ceremonies this afternoon. Janina G is a founding member and the president of the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition, and also co-MC is Alex Lashley, senior vice president at the Milwaukee Bucks Incorporated. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Paul and Anthony. My name is Janina Jeeb. I'm president of the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition and co-chair of the 2019 Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration. My co-MC, yes, you can go ahead. My co-MC for today's event is Alex Lasry, Senior Vice President of the Milwaukee Bucks. On behalf of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration Steering Committee, we thank you for joining us today for this very special event. The city of Milwaukee has been celebrating this great man of history longer than any other city in the nation other than Atlanta. I think that's pretty awesome. This 35th annual program will showcase just how important Dr. King's words are to our history and to the youth then and now. This year, we highlight 35 years of celebrating Dr. King's legacy in Milwaukee and how far we have come in over 60 years, but also it shows the journey to freedom is still not over. Immediately following today's program, we will have a reception in the Bradley Pavilion, which is located on the 3rd floor. The reception is sponsored by the Marcus Center. We hope to see you at the Paulette Y. Copeland Memorial Reception. At this time, take out your cell phones, take them out, check and double check, and make sure they're turned off. Is yours on?
It's off.
Okay, good. Okay, we're good.
And thank you everyone for coming this afternoon. I'm honored to be co-presenting this year's event. I believe this is the 3rd straight year with Janan Najib. Each year we celebrate Dr. King's strong spiritual message of racial equality and social justice. In keeping with Dr. King's mission, we invite performing arts groups that represent the cultural and racial diversity in our communities. This event would not be possible without the support of many businesses and organizations in our community, and we are pleased to have the support of our presenting sponsor, Forest County Potawatomi Foundation, and our additional sponsors including the Brewers Community Foundation, BMO Harris Bank, the Islamic Society of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee Public Schools Foundation, Aurora Healthcare, Landmark Credit Union, Educators Credit Union, and Hyatt Pharmacy. Also, a big thank you to the Marcus Center for Performing Arts for being the host of this important event. You also may have noticed the Salvation Army truck when you walked in today. Each year, the Salvation Army serves hot chocolate before our event to help raise awareness of their great organization. Thank you to the Salvation Army for their great service. Additionally, this afternoon's diverse activities will entertain you as well as honor the truly cross-cultural message that the Reverend Dr. King tried so hard to convey. So sit back and enjoy an afternoon of great entertainment and words of wisdom.
Now, please stand for the presentation of colors by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard to recognize our law enforcement and first responders. Following the presentation of colors, Samad Mahmoud from Salam School will guide us through the Pledge of Allegiance, and the Majestic Community Choir will graciously sing the national anthem along with the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Our invocation will be by Lieutenant Patricia Williams, Milwaukee Citadel Corporation, the Salvation Army.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, God of all creation, in your divine providence and wisdom, you have called us, your sons and daughters, to be living witnesses to your truth, love, and justice in the world. You give us the grace and strength to be instruments of your mercy and compassion in a world that is often filled with hatred, bigotry, and indifference. We bow before you today in remembrance and thanksgiving for the life and legacy of your faithful servant, witness, and martyr, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. We thank you for this time among us, for his example of humility and courage, for his inspired words and writings, for his integrity and dignity of his soul, for his prophetic leadership and authentic witness which somehow eases the tragic pain of his brief years. We rejoice in the fact that his life and legacy has endured for over 50 years since that dark day in April 1968. We rejoice in the fact that Dr. King continued to inspire millions of people today, all over the world, people of every religion and creed, people of every color and ethnic heritage, people young and old, rich and poor, to rise up above themselves and to realize that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Through his own example of civil disobedience and nonviolent resistance to the evil bigotry of racial segregation, Dr. King taught us how to put the words of Jesus, your son, into action when he said, love your enemies and bless those who curse you and pray for those who persecute you. We remember the gentle, patient, but persistent courage of Dr. Martin Luther King and his teachings of your son, Jesus, and the Redeemer of the Lord, and the rule and the standard of his life and all his actions. And yet at the same time, he taught us that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. He taught us that we do not have the privilege to be indifferent to the suffering and persecution of our brothers and sisters, your sons and daughters. He taught us by his willingness to be ready to lay down his life for what he believed. Lord, give us the same courage to live by what you profess and believe, and to accept the teachings of Christ as your rule and guide, rather than more words of inspiration. So, Father in heaven today, mold and fashion our memories of Dr. Martin Luther King into guiding vision for truth and active discipleship, so that under your grace, we too might have a lasting effect upon this world in which we live. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Patricia Williams, and I also want to thank the Milwaukee County Sheriff Department Honor Guard and Summer Mahmood and the Majestic Community Choir for starting us off tonight. We will now begin the program with all the winners from the MLK contest. And I would like to bring up one of our young students who participated in the 35th anniversary celebration speech contest. He's our first place winner in the K through 2 category. And let's also wish him a happy birthday. He just turned 8 yesterday. Jack Thornton from Eastwood Academy.
Could you imagine what the world would be like if the great Dr. Martin Luther King was alive today? Where are all of our leaders? Who do we have to lead us? There would be peace and unity amongst us if Dr. Martin Luther King was alive and well. I believe this because serving God was a major factor in his life. That's right, Dr. King was a God-fearing man. And with that being said, just look at the world around us. Look at what's being played on our television and radios. People no longer have the fear of God in them. They no wonder why the president is okay with locking children up in cages and keeping them away from their families. Let's think about that for a minute. Lives are no longer of value. Not only are we killing each other, but the police are killing us too. Dr. Martin Luther King once said that our lives began to end the day we become silent about things that matter. I come from a family of 5 boys and 1 girl and no father. I'm left to lead myself because there's no leaders out there standing up for us right. Maybe I would just become the next Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Let's give him another round of applause. Next, please welcome Ariana Cawthorn. She is the second place speech winner in the 11th to 12th grade category from Eastbrook Academy.
Does not go in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. These words were once recited by the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and they still impact lives today. We are culturally divided and we are experiencing pain and cannot hide it. It is hard for our hearts to restore after we see a galore of racial war. But Dr. King envisioned a dream, and it was us who it spoke for. Because of his legacy, he has paved the way for us, whether we're taking a stand or solely overcoming. His legacy encompasses influential decisions that hits the problem on the head with precision, all because he no longer tolerated a cultural collision. Progress and determination was all it took to change a nation because the vision didn't make sense. These were just a fraction of his monumental action as he strived for civil rights, while always being Black. Dr. King once said, "We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love." There is some good in the worst of us, and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Therefore, improvement will continue to come so that the job will be done. On December 1st, 1955 was the spark of the Civil Rights Movement when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. Just as Dr. King, her and many others fought for equality to overcome defeat and change political policies. It was leaders like them that inspired young people such as myself and the late Sandra Parks to be the change this world needed. Sandra knew that it started with ourselves to reach out to our society and to be, as she said, our brother's keepers. As I reflect upon Dr. King's legacy, the 3 words that come to mind are community, unity, and opportunity. Dr. King has put forth a stepping stone for our people, and I am truly grateful for his perseverance that has impacted my life. I have been blessed to be introduced to cultural backgrounds and be able to understand someone who is not like me. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change this world." Through education and the investment of my future, I will continue to be an example for others and young people around me to be the change this world needs. Dr. King's generation did their part, so now it is time to do ours. We need to be an example for our blossoming youth and start planting seeds of leaders instead of weeds of followers, so that we can replenish our neighborhoods. Because as Dr. King once said, must learn to love together as brothers or perish together as fools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. That was great. The next person I want to bring to the stage is someone who, in all of his life and all of his time representing Milwaukee County as its chief executive, I think has come to embody and really speak to the words of Dr. King and tried to make sure that everything he's done for the county is in the same spirit that Dr. King would want. So let's all give a big round of applause to our county executive, Chris Avery.
Good afternoon. I was just telling Ariana, who you just heard from, that I wasn't looking forward to following her, but she was pretty impressive. Also, I had that awkward moment where I've always believed, and I say this here every year and every time I get to speak about King, that the two pole stars in American history for me are Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln. They had an awful lot in some ways in common, including an extraordinary amount of grace, the kind of grace that comes in a human being maybe every century, and we're all the better for it. Typically, when I've been here, I've talked about some of the sermons of his that inspire me, and particularly the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church ones, which I think are beautiful and glorious, but they're towards the earlier part of his preaching career, at least that we're clear on. Today I want to talk a little bit about a sermon he gave 5 days before he was killed. It was called Remaining Awake Through a Great Revolution. He talks a little bit to set the tone, and this was at the National Cathedral in Washington. He talks a little bit to set the tone about an early American fiction story, Washington Irving, the story of Rip Van Winkle. And he says, you probably remember the story. The big moment of the story is here's this guy who goes up in the mountain and falls asleep, and he sleeps for 20 years before he wakes up. What a lot of people don't remember in that story is something that happens before and after. Before he goes up the mountain, he sees a sign, and the sign has a picture of King George III, because this was before the American Revolution. And then he sleeps for 20 years. And he comes down and he sees a different sign, and it's a sign of George Washington. And he's not clear on what happened, and who he is, and where he is. And King used that as a nice metaphor, and maybe reminding people that's kind of what Irving was getting at. We not only are only able to bring about and support social change if we're engaged and aware of it, but if we're not actively aware of it, it happens without us. In Remaining Awake in 1968, things had changed for King. It was an earlier part of his career where he had a pretty high approval rating, above 50. He had just passed the Civil Rights Act, been a big part of it, and also, without him it doesn't happen, without him the Voting Rights Act doesn't happen, but he had expanded a lot the subjects he talked about. He had taken a vocal stand against the Vietnam War. He used to say quite regularly, the irony of African Americans serving in this country's military to help assure the freedom and rights of a country across the world that is not one that they currently enjoy here should not be lost on anyone. And it is a horrible statement and a profound injustice. He also had talked a lot about poverty and the radical unfairness in any society that tolerates such a vast, vast gap between of opportunity, of equal protection under the law, of pay, of rights, of access. And it was 68, and he was getting impatient. His approval rating right now is around 92%. There are very few people in this country who, on their worst day, don't understand that our country is a better place for it. But at this moment, it was about 25. A lot of people, including those who fought for the Civil Rights Act, thought, hey, Mark, you're going too far here. Why are you adding on the war? Why are you adding peace? Why are you making this a global issue? And one of the not so terribly different from what he's been saying his entire career, and the message is just as relevant then. One, to quote Dr. King here, is the myth of time. It is the notion that only time can solve the problem of racial injustice. And there are those who often sincerely tell the Negro and his allies in the white community, why don't you slow up? Stop pushing things so fast. Only time can solve the problem. If you will just be nice and patient and continue to pray, in 100 or 200 years, the problem will work itself out. The answer to that myth, he continues, is that time is neutral. It can be used constructively or destructively. And I'm sorry this morning that I'm absolutely convinced that the forces of ill will in our nation, the extremists of our nation, the people on that side, have used time much more effectively than the forces of goodwill. And it may well be we will have to repent in this generation merely for the vitriolic words and violent actions of bad people, not merely, but for the appalling silence and indifference of good people who sit around and say, wait on time. Somewhere we must come to see that human progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless and persistent work of dedicated individuals who are willing to be co-workers with God. And without this work, this hard work, time itself will never be an ally of primitive forces, will be an ally of the primitive forces of social stagnation. That was 50 years ago. If those of you who've been following the news, even in the last couple of months, and noticed that there seems to be an almost normalization of rhetoric, not by an individual, sometimes by big groups, and not in quiet rooms, sometimes very publicly, that doesn't make it seem like we're moving in a forward direction, that doesn't seem like we're making progress. You're not alone. The other day, I think this was just yesterday, there was some Native Americans who were doing a ceremony to educate a community about their culture in Kentucky just a couple of days ago. And they were surrounded by students at a high school where this took place. Not a couple, not a dozen, not 20, about 100. And these students, many of whom were wearing Make America Great hats, were staring, mocking, and yelling, and rather menacingly surrounding literally a handful of Native Americans who were doing nothing other than express their culture. Their doing that is not something I entirely blame solely on those students. I blame it on our culture, a culture that's forgotten, in large part, just how important the words of King are. Towards the end of this sermon, King says, on some positions, cowardice asks the question, is it expedient? And then expedience comes along and asks the question, is it politic? Then asks the question, is it popular? Conscience asks the question, is it right? There comes a time when one must take the position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must do it because conscience tells him it is right. I believe today that there is a need for all people of goodwill to come with a massive act of conscience and say, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, we ain't gonna study war no more. This is the challenge facing modern man. Those words were incredibly true and obvious and clear morally 50 years ago. They are more important now. And for every young student here who's already taken classes, and thanks to the teachers who taught them and the parents who told their kids about the lessons of Dr. King, King is a broad spectrum, and King absolutely is grace, and King absolutely is about the guy who says darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can. He's also the King who says the myth of time is not something to be fooled by. And we need to ask ourselves every single day, not is it politic, not is it expedient, not is it popular. We need to ask ourselves, is it right? All of us. You need to hold people like me and everybody in positions of authority to that standard, not politics, expedience, popularity, but what's right. And if this sounds right, it sounds like, hey, here's another set of values, we're going to hear a lot of it on King Day. It has never been more relevant than I feel it is right now, 2019 in this country. We need that spirit of King more than ever. So, as I told Ariana, and I tell every speaker, that for some reason, when they schedule this, I'm always after the student speakers, which I always feel like I can never keep up because they're all so impressive to me. But one thing I've said to the folks you heard today and to the student speakers every year is I really hope you run for office. Because it's one thing to speak up, it's another thing to vote, it's another thing, as we say in another advocacy group and involved in, don't get mad, get elected. So thanks for being here today and celebrating.
Thank you, County Executive Avery. I would also like to recognize a few important people in the audience. All of you are important, mind you, but we've got a few also important people. We have with us Milwaukee County Sheriff Bernell Lucas, new sheriff. Thank you for joining us, Sheriff. We also have numerous members of the police department and a number of elected officials in the audience. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful event. Now please join me in welcoming Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett to say a few words about what this event means to Milwaukee.
It is an honor to be here once again this year to celebrate the life of a man who was so transformative for our nation. A man who gave his life to make this a better country for all of us. And each year when I speak here, I speak a lot about Martin Luther King Jr. and his life and the challenges. But I wanted to do something a little bit different this year. I want to talk about the challenges that we all face in our daily lives. And in particular, I want to talk about the challenge of leadership that we face in our daily lives. And I do so invoking the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. Because if there was anything he was a leader. He was a spiritual leader. He was a civil rights leader. He was a person who understood that his pulpit was not just in a church, but it was in the streets of the cities of this nation, in the homes of this nation, and in the schools of this nation. And the reason I want to talk about a little different approach is because when I was a little boy, I had an uncle that I visited very often, and he had a book about the presidents of the United States. And as a little boy, I thought it was just fascinating to read this book about the presidents of the United States. In fact, I think in my part, my interest in public service came from reading that book. And the reason it was so enthralling to me was because I looked at all the presidents, and regardless of what their political persuasion was, I felt that they were leaders, they were successes, and they were people to be admired. And I think that that is still true for children and young people in this nation. They look at our presidents in particular, and they say, that person, because they're so successful, and because they're our leader, sets the tone for our nation. And I am troubled by that in 2019. And I want to be even more specific. This morning, some of you may have seen a clip, I saw it on YouTube, of an event that took place in Washington over the last couple of days. It was a group of Native Americans and indigenous people, including a 64-year-old man, Native American, who had served our country in Vietnam. And they were holding a Native American ritual with music on the wall in Washington, D.C. And they came across a group of young men who were wearing Make America Great Again hats. And there was a confrontation of sorts. And the confrontation was racial in nature. And it was along the lines of build the wall and just disrespect for the Native Americans. And if you look at that, I'm guessing you'll be as troubled as I was. In fact, before I even had a chance to show it to my wife, a teacher, had already written an email to the principal of the school to show her concern. But it troubles me in our nation when the message sent to young teenagers is that you should be disrespectful of people from other races, of other backgrounds. That is not what America is. That is not who we are. That is certainly, I hope, not what Milwaukee is. And so I think that there's a vacuum. I think there's a vacuum when the ultimate leader of our nation sends a message of division, of sometimes literally building a wall or excluding people, or castigating people because of the color of their skin. That is not what Martin Luther King lived his life for. And so when you look at our nation right now, in many ways the challenge for those of us in everyday lives has never been greater. As parents, as educators, as employers, as leaders, I believe we have a responsibility to send the message that regardless of what an individual's background is, their religion, their race, where they're from, that we are all human beings and we need to respect each other. And I feel very comfortable delivering that message today because I believe that is exactly the message of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. It was one of respect. It was one of treating people how we want to be treated. And again, if we're not going to see that leadership out of Washington, D.C., I would love to see it here in the city of Milwaukee from the parents and the educators, the clergy and the leaders. Not only would I like to see it, we have to provide it. So to all the young men and women, to all the young men and women, boys and girls who are being celebrated today, I believe that this tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. sends that message. It sends a message of inclusiveness, of respect. And I think that we should teach them, and we should model for them, that that is the way we want to live our lives forever. Thank you, God bless, and God bless us.
Thank you, Mayor. Right now, I would like to take a moment of silence to remember and honor the former third-place writing winner from 2016, Sandra Parks, who left us too soon in 2018. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring to the stage the Majestic Community Choir back to the stage. Thank you.
We'll be King's legacy was to help people. He didn't fight with his fists, but with his words. If it wasn't for Dr. King, I wouldn't have met my friends or gone to my school because it used to be an all-Jewish school. If it wasn't for Dr. King, even if my school wasn't an all-Jewish school, it still wouldn't be integrated, and I wouldn't have met all my amazing friends and received a great education. Dr. King once said, "I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." My best friend has known me for a short time. She's a Caucasian and I'm an African American. We are allowed to be friends because of Dr. King. The college that my mother went to was called Fisk University. When sit-ins were happening, most college students from Fisk were there and organizing the sit-ins. You may not realize it, but the sit-ins were very organized by African American college students in general. This went on from February 13th to May 10th, 1960. The time is always right to do what is right, Dr. King once stated. This helped blacks with the right to eating where they want. In 1968, my grandmother, Velma Louise Cox, marched for housing rights with the NAACP. She wasn't even in the South. She was here in Milwaukee. She was only 22 and she still marched for almost a year. That was the same year Dr. King passed away. Even after Dr. King passed away and Jim Crow laws ended, Caucasians still treated African Americans unfairly. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Dr. King's legacy helped us stop Jim Crow laws. His legacy didn't help us with just that. He also helped us in many ways we see our world come. Still today, we deal with problems we have to fix, but we shall overcome. We shall overcome. For Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Let his legacy live through us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee. Not only can she speak, she can sing. That's awesome. Our next speech contest winner is from the 9th to 10th grade category. Please welcome freshman Amelia Bell from Rufus King International Baccalaureate High School.
Why is she clapping? To answer your question, I'm clapping to commemorate the 35-year-long legacy celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, it's a reason for us all to be clapping. Hello, my name is Amelia Bell. I am in the 9th grade, and I attend Rufus King High School. In 1983, exactly 35 years ago, former President Ronald Reagan designated the third Monday of January to be a federal holiday, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Did you know that Atlanta, Georgia, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin are the only cities to celebrate Martin Luther King for the past 35 years? Stated by Fox News. Let's just take a moment to really think about how King has contributed to our nation and how he has helped us reach our goal of getting to the promised land and reaching the mountaintop. According to the Seattle Times, the promised land was where you didn't have to march for your dignity. It was where you did not have to sing for your freedom. It was where there was no need for speeches to verify humanity. promised land is that sacred place where all of God's children will stand as equal on level fertile ground. According to Dr. King, the promised land is a place we will reach someday. But after 35 years of celebration, after 35 years of action such as hashtags, movements, and protests, we have not yet made it to the place that Dr. King said we will arrive. In 2018, I still see people living on the streets of Milwaukee, right down the road. I still see parents unable to provide for their children because of the lack of resources. I still see Milwaukee public schools dropout rate rise and funding lowered. Last year, the theme for this contest was Take a Stand for Truth and Justice. I talked about juvenile car thefts and the negative effects it had on the community, followed by a slap on the wrist. In 2016, the theme was We Shall Overcome. I discussed the poverty, racism, and violence weaknesses in our community. Back in 2016, 9-year-old Zelaya Jenkins was shot by a stray bullet while sitting in her own home, one day before her 10th birthday. And yet, in 2018, I still see a 13-year-old girl who participated in this writing contest shot by a stray bullet that pierced through her window. A situation that just happened a couple months ago. A situation that is sore to the community. A situation that seems all too familiar. Gunshots, police lights, news reporters, and yellow tape every single night. Yes, it's been 35 years of celebration. We are still seeing the same problems that King consistently marched, preached, and prayed about. Parents, imagine telling your child good night, followed by a kiss, and a see you in the morning. But the morning of having your child present at the breakfast table never happened. You heard the gunshot, a familiar sound to you. You think nothing of it until your child comes in your room and like Sandra Parks said, "Mama, I'm shot." May Sandra Parks and Zelaya Jenkins both rest in peace. This infuriates me. We have to do better. Dr. Martin Luther King died for our freedom. We have to do better. Each year, there are thousands of MPS students who put their hard work into speaking for change. We have to do better. Yes, we have come so far, but as Dr. King said, there is still a great deal of positive work to be done. We have to do better. Congratulations on 35 years of celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and 35 years more to make it to the promised land. By all saying together, we have to do better. We have to do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. You know, Milwaukee Public Schools have played an instrumental part in getting these young students involved in the writing, speech, and art contests. And I think it's really incredible that over 50 years later, Dr. King, his words and everything that he preached is playing just as vital a role today in the communities as it did 50 years ago. And because of that, I believe that the superintendent, Dr. Keith Posley, has a lot to do with everything that's been going on in our schools and all the great work that's been happening in our communities. So with that, I would like to bring Dr. Keith Posley out here to talk to us about MPS's role and the participation of students in the event today.
Good afternoon. I want to start by using two of the most important words in the English language, and those are thank you. Thank you for being here this afternoon. You could be anywhere you wanted to be on a wonderful Sunday afternoon, but you are here in unity to reflect on the celebration of an incredible life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. More than 4,000 Milwaukee Public School students participated in this year's preliminary contest, and 64 of the 2018 winners from the art, speech, and writing contest are Milwaukee Public School students. And I also, at this time, would like to recognize all participants, all student participants The art, speech, and writing contest would not be possible without the support of many people. Milwaukee Public Schools partnership with We Energies, the Market Center for the Performing Arts, and the collaborative efforts of the Milwaukee Teacher Education Association and its rich history. We're thankful to all of our sponsors, partners, and staff who helped make this happen. It is priceless to see the hopes and dreams of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. expressed through art, writing, and speeches. Today, as we reflect on the great legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I want to encourage you not just to let this be one day, continue to honor Dr. King's great legacy. With the support of our generous partners and relentless commitment of family, friends, and educators, we can continue to empower and encourage our students to become leaders, to exercise their creative freedom, and to put their voice and vision on record for the world to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keith Mosley. Next, I'd like you to welcome an awesome person, an awesome friend, someone that comes every year, Congresswoman Gwen Moore.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? This great MLK Celebration Day. This is the 35th year that we've celebrated MLK, one of the longest standing celebrations in the United States. And the reason that we do this every year is because we think it's extremely important to pass on to a new generation the lessons and the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year, as our country faces tremendous perils, as we see the federal government grinding to a halt, as we see our brothers and sisters standing in line to get free meals because they are not receiving their paychecks, as we see people fighting and struggling for a higher standard of living and a higher minimum wage, as our country is facing some of the greatest challenges of democracy, I am so reminded of one of the things that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and that is that we will stand together as brothers and sisters, or we will perish together as fools. This is a time to stick together, no matter what, to stand on our values of looking out for each other, to stand on our values for waging for peace, to stand for our values that everybody deserves to earn a decent wage, get a good education. Because I tell you, darkness is darkness, and the only thing that can drive out darkness is light. So brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our youngest people here in the room, let's stick together. Let's stick together. And that is the value that I want to leave you with this MLK Day. Love you all!
Now please welcome our 5th and 6th grade category speech contest winner, Zora Penninger Davidson from Fernwood Montessori School.
On July 2nd, 1964, approximately 99 years after the Civil War ended, the Civil Rights Act was passed. After years of being belittled and forced to think we were inferior, justice was served. By law, as it always was in nature, we were equals. Only 4 years later, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. 50 years later, by law, we have lived out his dream to give equal rights to everyone. Throughout these years, we have fought for change in our community. Before, the only water fountains we could use were of poor quality for Black sunlight. Now, everyone uses the same water fountain. Before, we were restricted from going to movies, parks, restaurants, and restrooms. Now, we are allowed to use these services when we choose. Before, we went to segregated schools with scarce funding. Now, anyone can apply to any school they please. Before, we were not allowed to read and write because education is the key to power and freedom. Now, we are free to read what we want. Before, even though Frederick Douglass was on the founding charter with Clara Barton, African Americans were not allowed to use the services of the Red Cross. Now, the Red Cross helps with our emergencies and offers blood to everyone. Not everything has changed. You can't legislate kindness and you can't make people respect you. Even at my young age, people treat me differently because of how I look. I have been taunted and called names and even picked on because I'm smart and do my best in school. What I've learned from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is to not hate them back. I've learned to value making my community better. I've learned that everything can be accomplished when your family loves and supports you. And I've also learned one of the most important things to do in leading is to listen. This is why I believe Dr. King's vision is important for everyone. He showed us all of us can be courageous without fighting with our fists, but with our hearts, our minds, and with love. He wanted us all to get along no matter what. When we are younger, we don't care, we are just friends. But as we get older, we care what people look like and other trivial things. I wish all adults could love like little kids. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, and Dr. King stood on the shoulders of his. We honor them by making change for the good. We honor them by working hard in school. We honor them by not insulting their sacrifice and hard work. We honor them by speaking up when something is wrong. I am the child getting called names. I am the girl at the Model UN making change. I am my great-great-uncle, George Phillips, the son of a slave who taught himself how to read and write and became an educator. I am my great-grandfather, Dr. Horace V. Cooper Sr., who opened an African-American blood clinic and was trained by Dr. Charles Drew. I am Representative Gwen Moore. I am Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. I am Michelle Obama. I am Justice Sonia Sotomayor. I am Zora Henniger Davidson. Because of Dr. King, there's no limit to who I can be, or who you can be, or who you could be, or who you could be. Thank you.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an activist committed to peace, justice, and equality. As a visionary leader of the Civil Rights Movement, King fought for racial and economic justice for the oppressed. But yet, after all of that hard work and determination, we still see injustice, especially towards our Black community. So, let me break this down for you. We see these Black men unarmed, so why shouldn't they be alarmed when police are coming up to them, putting them in harm? Sorry, my bad, if I was taking it too far, but my people are just
No weapons. Innocent black people getting killed when they aren't carrying weapons or trying to harm anyone. But then again, it's hard for us to be unarmed when they see our blackness as a weapon. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't be afraid of being black. I shouldn't be afraid that when I'm walking down the street, I'm going to get shot. I was told that when I was ready to speak, then to speak, and not to let anyone make me be quiet. So right now, I'm ready to speak, and I need you to listen. There is no reason why anyone being different or me being black should be a problem to you. Dr. King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But no matter what, you have to keep moving forward. It's 2019, so we need to keep moving forward. No matter if you're black, white, red, or yellow. We need to be united so we can make a change to this world. Dr. King said he had a dream, and I have a dream too. We need to learn that guns are not a solution to everything. So let's celebrate King's legacy in this day and every day. Just because I'm black and I have a hood on my head, that doesn't mean I'm going to shoot you dead. Just because I'm black and I wear earbuds, that doesn't automatically mean that I sell drugs. Just because I'm black and I wear Timberland boots, that doesn't automatically mean I'm going to walk up and shoot. Maybe I'm black, but that doesn't mean I'm dangerous. Even though to you I might be a stranger. I'm tired of all the stereotypes and all this constant hate. Instead of hating, maybe you should just motivate. Why don't you think about my strengths like poetry and maybe even dance? So quick to judge me without giving me a chance. I can do hair, sing, and I have fashion sense. But you're so quick to put down my black excellence. The hate is sort of so sick it needs medicine. But I'm okay because I'm dripping in melanin. I can speak with pride, and I don't need a crowd. And I'm going to say it loud, I'm black, and I'm proud.
They are a nonprofit organization from the Hmong American Friendship Association and go by the name Hoffa Girls. The team dancers have been dancing for over 1 year, and I recently found out that they also made their own costumes, but unfortunately they didn't make me one, so I stuck in a suit. But please give them a warm round of applause as they welcome to the stage.
Writing and Art Contest winners. All of the winners will receive an award, plaques, and other prizes after today's event. The pickup location for these materials will be provided later in the program. Along with the plaques and prizes, our writing contest winners were featured in a special edition of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Thank you to the Journal for your support of our students. Art contest winners will have their outstanding displays of art with this year's theme in the Bradley Pavilion during our post-event reception. Please take a moment to look at the talent we have here in Milwaukee. It is quite outstanding.
And without the sponsorship of the Journal-Sentinel, the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association, We Energies, the Brewers Community Foundation, and the Marcus Center for Performing Arts, these contests would not have been able to take place. So please join us in thanking these corporations and community organizations for their generous contributions to our youth. The students will also receive gifts from the Brewers, First Stage, the Zoological Society of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Art Museum, and the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Bucks one will be everyone's favorite, but a little biased. Let's thank all of them, all of these community leaders for supporting our students as well. In your program booklet, you will also notice a special recognition of MPS Teacher of the Year. For the past 6 years, the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts has been proud to recognize the outstanding teachers for their continued efforts in encouraging their students to participate in the Dr. King contest each year. You will notice past year's winners noted, as well as the 2019 Teacher of the Year winner, Kelly O'Keefe Betcher from Rufus King International Baccalaureate. Without her leadership, these contests would not be possible. Let's give Ms. Betcher and all the hardworking teachers a round of applause. We now welcome our art contest winners to the stage. Also, Deb Jolitz from the Milwaukee Public Schools and Anthony Smith from the Marcus Center for Performing Arts, who will present our art contest winners.
Good afternoon, welcome everyone. I am Deb Jolitz, proud Fine Arts Manager for Milwaukee Public Schools, and I am here with Anthony Smith to present our award winners for the art contest. Every year we have hundreds of entries for the art contest, and we get to see the best and the brightest of our artists from across the district and Milwaukee. This year, I will have the pleasure of introducing you to those students in grades kindergarten through 5th grade who are the winners this year, and Mr. Smith will handle those in 6th through 12th. So we have artists that are, as you can see, itty-bitty, all the way up to ready for college. For grades kindergarten through 2nd grade, our first place winner is Giovan Castillo, Milwaukee Spanish Immersion. He is in K5. And he's a little shy. In 2nd place, Noah Presley, also from Milwaukee Spanish Immersion, grade 2. The 3rd place winner is Cache Wright from McDowell Montessori School, also in grade 2. For our 2nd category, which is grades 3rd through 5th grade, first place is Gabriela Pastor from La Escuela Fratney. She is in grade 5. 2nd place is Nancy Tao from Bruce School. She is in grade 4. And 3rd place, Xavier Hunt from La Escuela Fratney in 4th grade.
King Middle School. Second place, Angelina Joe from Rufus King Middle School. And third place for the 6 through 8, Hope John from Hisland, grade 7. And for the grades 9 through 12, Ira Mir from Solana. Greta Garcia, Milwaukee School of Language. And third place winner, Nicholas Peterson from Greenfield High School. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our art contest winners. Now please welcome Karen Ryan, Corporate Communications at We Energies, to present the winners of the speech contest.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of We Energies, I am so proud to present the winners of the 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Speech Contest. My name is Karen Ryan, and it's my pleasure to represent We Energies and to recognize the outstanding achievements of this year's winners. We Energies is honored to celebrate a long legacy of student achievement through our decades-long sponsorship of this annual speech contest. With everyone here today, we share our commitment to education through the exceptional achievement of the speech contest winners joining me on stage today. You were so blessed to hear the speeches of our first place winners. They shared their very personal stories about their young lives and spoke eloquently about their hopes for the future. To the students, we applaud you for your hard work and are inspired by your vision to interpret the theme, celebrating the legacy for 35 years. To their parents and guardians, we are grateful to your support and encouragement. And to the teachers and administrators of the Milwaukee public, private, religious, and home schools, we thank you for encouraging participation and nurturing the students throughout this process. Joining me on stage are the very talented students who earned top awards in the 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Speech Contest. We Energies is pleased to provide additional awards in recognition of their achievements. All first, second, and third place winners will receive a commemorative plaque and gift cards for a local bookstore and restaurant. And now it's my privilege to announce our extremely talented winners. Students, when I say your name, please take a step forward so everyone can recognize you. In the kindergarten to second grade division, our winners are third place, Josiah Franklin from Elm Creative Arts School. Second place, Elijah Hernandez from Jeremiah. And you heard him speak today from Eastbrook Academy, Jack Thornton. In our third and fourth grade division, our winners are third place from Jeremiah Curtin Leadership Academy, Inez Marie Chico. In second place from U.S. Grant Elementary School, Rafida Mohammed Kabir. In the 5th and 6th grade division, our winners are in 3rd place from Congress Elementary School, Javon Robinson. From Samuel Clemens Elementary School, Avery Stewart. And from Fernwood Montessori School, you heard her speak, Zora Penber Davidson. In the 7th and 8th grade division, our winners are in 3rd place from James Fenimore Cooper School, Brandon Gordon. In 2nd place from Victory Milwaukee Italian Immersion School, Taji Johnson. And our 1st place winner from Golda Meir, you heard her, Janiyah Williams. In the 9th and 10th grade division, our winners are in 3rd place from Ronald Reagan High School, Angela Gordon. In 2nd place from Vincent High School, Mary Wilson. And in 1st place from Rufus King High School, you heard her speak, Amelia Bell. And in the 11th and 12th grade division, our winners are from Barack Obama School of Career and Technical Education, Ahmad Blake. In 2nd place from Eastbrook Academy, you heard her speak today, Ariana Cawthorne. And in 1st place from Ronald Reagan High School, she was not able to be with us today, Samaya Sheik. Congratulations to all of our winners for their interpretation of celebrating the legacy for 35 years, and we extend all students our deepest appreciation for their support of the Dr. Martin Luther King Speech Contest. Thank you, students.
All right, congratulations to all of our speech winners. Let's give them another round of applause for all the great things they've done. Now please join me in welcoming Milwaukee Teachers Education Association President Amy Mizielko and Mark Mizzarelli, Special Section Manager for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, to announce the winners of the writing contest.
Good afternoon, my name is Amy Mizielko. I'm the proud president of the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association. It's my honor, on behalf of thousands of MTEA members, to be with you today to announce some of the 2019 writing contest winners.
On behalf of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, my name is Mark Mizzarelli, and it is my honor to represent the employees of the newspaper at today's MLK Junior celebration. The Journal-Sentinel would like to congratulate not only the winners, but all those who participated in the writing contest. It is through your written words that will continue to educate people in the same manner and spirit that Dr. King did. Essays published in today's Journal-Sentinel will be seen across the state, inside the newspaper, and across the world on JS Online. The Journal-Sentinel is honored to give Milwaukee students a chance to shine and express their insightful words. Copies of today's section will be available in the lobby after the event. Thank you again for including us in Dr. King's festivities. It's fun to look back at the history of the event. It's even more important to look forward to the future and ensure that Dr. King's message continues on. From my experiences of participating at the event, I will say your past predicts a great future. So thank you again for having us today.
Let's begin. We will start with grades 2 and 3. When I step forward. In third place, Logan Hayden. Third grade Milwaukee German immersion teacher, Melissa Arndt. In second place, Thomas Paul, grade 3, Milwaukee German immersion teacher, Susan Richardson. And in first place, Brooklyn Solis, third grade, Honey Creek teacher, Amy Hagenau. Now for grades 4 and 5. Jonathan Firsterling, grade 4, Milwaukee German immersion teacher, Sarah Cross. In second place, Anaya Payne, grade 4, Congress teacher, Jessica Wagner. And in first place, Melkia Rattler, grade 4, Alpena, teacher, Dina Barrett. And now the awards for grade 6. In third place, Lola Honorado, grade 6, Golden Mayer, teacher, Eleanor Payne. In second place, Suri Artiega, grade 6, Golden Mayer, teacher. I apologize, I skipped down a line. I'm so sorry. In second place, Suri Artiega, grade 6, Golden Mayer, teacher, Hannah Kinney. And in first place for grade 6, Haley Cruz, grade 6, Burdick Elementary teacher, Joe Conti.
Representing grades 7 through 8, in third place, Kaylee DeLuna, grade 7, Victory Milwaukee County. In second place, Shalem Encarnacion, grade 8, Longfellow. And in first place, Rita Apta from Salam School, teacher Michelle Fowler. Representing grades 11 and 12, in third place, Maureen Badad, grade 11, Salam School, teaching Melissa Fowler. Second place, Kaylee Crisis, grade 12, Salam School, teacher Jason Green. And in first place, Amani Price, grade 11, Salam School, Jason Green. And if we can welcome the group project winner from representing grades K through first grade, from the 5th grade class at the Academy of Accelerated Learning, we have April Gagliano and her class. Congratulations again to all the participants and today's winners.
Performance for our final show today, the Milwaukee Flyers tumbling team. This team is a nonprofit organization that was established in 2005 by a group of Milwaukee men whose main purpose was to provide a positive outlet for the youth. The Milwaukee Flyers have dazzled audiences for years with their high-flying acrobatic performances. They have toured with the Ringling Brothers Circus, they have entertained with the Harlem Globetrotters, and they were on late-night TV. And today they're here to perform for you.